Welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival.
This is just our spinnaker halyard with a soft shackle. Okay, just a bit of force coming on there now.
This week is part 1 of our Shipyard period, where we find one shocking discovery after another,
We may have a crack in the hull.
jeopardizing our chance of making the last weather window to cross the Pacific from Mexico to French Polynesia.
Found a crack in the main housing.
Hurricane Irma boats tossed. Here we are at this marina.
Hi, my name's Colin. I used to be a chief engineer on super yachts, but gave it all up to buy a hurricane-damaged Lagoon 450. My friends and I are fixing it up as we go, and are determined to circumnavigate the entire planet. So subscribe if you want some inspiration to live life to the fullest. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for?
I think it's more funny to just stand here and laugh.
We'll just supervise.
You can see myself going in the water.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Good morning, guys. We just got back from Miami last night, and now we're about to move the boat to La Cruz Marina. We got quite a lot of work to do on the boat, so let's hope we could get it all done in the week that we have on the hard.
So, as you know, we're about to cross the Pacific this year. Biggest trip this boat has ever done. Biggest trip I've ever done. Biggest trip you've ever done?
Biggest trip I've ever done. I've never crossed an ocean.
Biggest ocean you've ever crossed?
Biggest and the first. Go big or go home.
So, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So we're going to haul out now and give it a fresh bottom job. We've got some underwater lights to install. We're going to replace the Saildrive seals, not only the prop seals, but also the main seal that separates the ocean from the hull. That's 10 years old now. I just feel like it's time to do it. If that starts to leak, we've got serious problems. We've also got a leak on the seal that comes out of the front of the Saildrive, and we're also replacing the engine mounts because they're super rusty and old looking. All of these things are pretty major issues if one of them fails. We're just going to take care of all that now.
I'm nervous to haul out. I don't know why.
We're going to try and get all this done in a week. Anyway, a lot of work coming up. Stay tuned. Let's see if we can do it. It's Monday today. Let's try and get in by Friday. Famous last words.
I'm going Monday. I'm not meeting Monday. I think we'll be back in.
You heard it here first. Friday, Monday. If we put money on it, I'll just splash the boat when we're not ready.
Saildrive seal still hanging out.
Only one hull's been anti-fouled. Like, let's go. Drop her in.
So it was going to be a tall order to get everything done in a week, but we didn't really have a choice as the marina was booked solid for months, and so they needed us in and out.
Okay, here's all the stuff that arrived from the States. So shipping all of the stuff from Texas cost $900 in shipping and taxes and stuff. So not cheap. Delta Marine in Panama, they sent us some Yanmar parts, so that's all the seals and everything that we need. They gave us a nice little discount on there, so it was worth buying it from there and shipping it down rather than buying from the States. These are the new propellers. They're Brunton propellers. They are folding props.
See how heavy that is? Like, look at the guns.
So that's going to make a huge difference. Like even right now, we're doing 2,000 RPM on both engines. We've only got fixed 2-blade props, and we're only doing about 6 knots. We've got the head still out as well, helping us a little bit. Hopefully we might notice a huge difference. We're going to be really interested to test them out. And the rest is all our Total Boat stuff.
So Total Boat actually sent us a bottom paint plus a care package like epoxy and a bit of glass, just when we cross the Pacific for backup.
Preston, you are good. You are good.
So we've got enough stuff to do the whole boat before Patreon meetup.
Alrighty, showtime. We've arrived at the marina. Nice boat! Just gonna go in forwards. This is where I start to get a little bit nervous. Those straps have got to go in exactly the right places. Oh shit, man. Oh.
Hey!
Are you serious? We're about to play bumper boats here. Chaos. We've only got about a foot either side.
So it was a tight fit into the slip, and then it was important that we got the straps exactly on the bulkheads to avoid damage. I've seen what happens when a strap goes through the hull of a boat, and it's not pretty.
What was that noise? Oh, these people are rude, man. They didn't even wait for us to get ready. They just started lifting us.
So after hauling out, the shipyard usually gives the hull a good pressure wash to get all the growth off the bottom. They then put us into position and start to chock up the keels and get her as level as possible. We then have to find a way to actually get back onto the boat.
What's wrong with it? Yeah!
Good.
I was pretty happy with the ladder that we found, but the shipyard wasn't impressed.
Gracias.
If you've just joined us, this boat has been through hell. It's been struck by lightning twice, but it's also had broken bulkheads. So the primary bulkhead where the mast is, that snapped in two places, and the boat basically bent that way. So go back and watch those videos if you're interested in that. We've got a whole series on it. We're over it. Been 3 years on and off of this shit. It was absolute torture, grinding fiberglass inside the boat while we're living on it. Our bulkheads are reinforced now with epoxy, biaxial glass. It's super strong. Right now we're sort of they've just put a little bit of weight on these pallets with the wood that they've jammed underneath there. And now they'll start chocking it up. So they're going to be tapping the hull and finding where the bulkheads or the frames are on the boat. You don't want to put it between two bulkheads because you'll punch straight through the fiberglass. This is all prepped to cross the Pacific this year. Let's go. Now they're going to drop the straps. That'll be all of the weight of the hull on the chocks now.
So it took an hour and a half to get Parlay out of the water and into her final resting place, and we thought everything had gone smoothly until we made a shocking discovery.
Okay guys, when they lifted the boat, we tried to put the strap on the bulkhead, but it didn't really work out that way. And when we were out of the water, we saw it kind of riding on the sonar. And I've just pulled the sonar out and it looks fine. But it looks like we may have a crack in the hull. So I've got the Dremel. I'm going to start just grinding it back a little bit, see if it is actually a crack or it's just an old bit of debris from when we fiberglassed this whole bulkhead, because there were little bits of glass and stuff splashed around in the bilge. Fingers crossed this is not a crack. Oh my god, thank god for that. No crack. I just ground the top layer off and the crack disappeared. That was a very big scare. So many people asking what this 3D sonar is like. We don't know, hasn't been hooked up, and thank goodness, because we got struck by lightning and this probably would have got fried along with our depth sounder and our underwater lights. So yeah, hopefully it's okay.
So the very first thing we did was rip the old props off and made sure that the folding props were going to work perfectly.
Take those out and we'll see if it works, just in case I have to get any other parts for it.
It looked like all the dimensions were correct.
So that fits, clears the anode, Bob's your uncle.
So it was time to disconnect the Saildrive from the engine and pull it out of the boat using a halyard.
We're draining all the oil out right now. See all of this oil? That oil is coming from where the Saildrive spline comes out into the engine. So the only way to replace that seal is to separate the engine from the Saildrive. While the Saildrive is separated completely, I'm going to replace these two seals. So there's a seal here and there's a seal under here. The way that the system works is that this big seal stops the ocean from coming in, but if this does get a little tear in it, there's a backup seal, this one, and underneath this seal there's a sensor that goes here. It lets me know when there's water on top of the first seal but under the second seal. I've also got a new mount that's going to go back here. This is the only thing that holds up the entire back half of the engine. So there's two mounts on the front and one mount down the back. So first things first, I have to separate the Saildrive from the engine. Then I have to back a couple of these knobs off and disengage the internal gears of the Saildrive. And then we'll get a halyard, take the weight of the engine after undoing the engine mounts and move the engine forward. Oh boy, it is hot in here. Okay, I think we're ready to go. The bell housing bolts are off, Saildrive breather is off, the gear cable is off, the raw water intake is off. Now we're going to take the weight of the engine and try and move it forward to separate it from the Saildrive.
Take up on a little.
Okay, you can take the weight. This is just our spinnaker halyard with a soft shackle. Okay, bit of force coming on there now. Okay, see that? Okay, stop. Okay, we're all loose. There it comes. There it goes. Okay, splitting. Okay, now I'm going to move the engine forward. Yeah, boy. That's it. Okay, you can let it down.
Okay, so now the engine's separated from the Saildrive, we're going to take out the prop shaft so we can pull the actual Saildrive straight up through the hole.
Okay, now I'm just going to tie a line around that, just those bolts already loose, and pull this whole Saildrive out, just like that. Alrighty. Okay, stop. We got to take it by hand now. There you go. What time is it? That took about 2 hours. Not too bad.
Alright, from now on, that's the new toilet.
A huge hole in the boat. Imagine how much water would come in if we got a tear in this seal here.
Can you stick your head all the way up through it?
Oh, it's all oily. Oh. Why'd you make me do that?
Do you feel like you're born again?
So this is what I was talking about. This is ocean here. So I just want to replace this seal. So I guess I'm gonna have to undo all of those to get this apart. Do those two, plus replace this. Oh look, that's all cracked. Just as well I got a new one. Thank goodness we're doing this. I'm gonna have a look now at the schematics of it, just so I can get an idea of what's happening inside there. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need help.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, Colin.
Hey, did you hear that, Brett?
Yeah, you hear that, Colin?
So I've just pulled up the schematic for it, and it says there's a sleeve here. So I think if we undo those bolts, it should just pull out of that sleeve. So this will become separate from that. Ooh, perfect. Okay. Bro, what kind of foam is this? This is where the water comes up through here. So there's no way there should be this foam shit there. I can't believe what... Is that for real? Like, what's going on here?
I couldn't believe what we had found. There were small bits of foam and plastic that had been sucked up into the sail drive over the last decade because the strainer is actually after the sail drive. This water then goes on to be the only source of cooling for the engine, so it's unbelievable that it wasn't overheating.
Wow. Can you believe it? But look at all this sludge. This is so good that we're getting this apart because I want to clean all of these up. Okay, and then we're replacing this, which is broken. That's been broken for a while. You can see rust between them. This is broken, which is why this was just loose. That's what I got to get to, is this seal in here is leaking. So it's just spilling oil, throwing all the oil all around here. So once I take this off, I'll be able to pull this cone clutch out as well and clean the entire inside of this. Now is our opportunity to get this right once and for all of this.
So we kept pulling the sail drive apart and sending the parts down to Jamie under the boat for a clean.
We've just taken off the nuts, so this should all just come out. There we go. So what we're doing when we loosen those nuts and bringing this forward is we're disengaging this pinion to the cone clutch assembly in there and expose the bearing. So we're going to replace this seal and make sure, oh yeah, feel how rough that is.
Oh yeah.
It actually looks fine from the inside. This is the side that keeps the oil in. But then when you turn it over and you look at the lip of it, but see all of those where my finger is? There's these little bumps, and that was obviously causing it to leak. And that's our problem. Okay, let's just check that the new seals are exactly the right size before I pop this thing out. Yep, that's us. This is fine as long as I don't scratch the housing of it, you know? So it destroyed the seal, but I didn't touch any of that because that has the seal on the outside of it there. Let's see if we can get this whole assembly out. The pinion's out, the shifter is out, so this might just lift up. No. If it comes, it's gonna hit me straight in the jaw.
Move your head back.
Huh?
Knock
Your
some
head
sense
back.
into it. Yeah, isn't there a tool that pulls it out?
I'm the tool that's gonna try to get it out.
I think he needs the girls to do it.
So that was the sail drive taken completely apart right down to the clutch assembly, ready to be cleaned and reassembled in the morning.
Day one. Done.
Done and dusted. Oh, they come out easier than I thought.
Look at our
The
feet.
Oh my God.
You're blue. Why are you blue?
Now we're going to an Airbnb because you're not allowed to stay here. Pretty major work we're doing, eh? This isn't for the average DIYer.
No, definitely not.
Want a coffee? We just walked down to the boat. We want to get in by Friday. It's Tuesday now. Look at this beautiful setting. Look at this. To give you guys an idea of how much pressure we're under right now, this boat behind us here has to go on Friday. We're in his way. So we have to go on Friday. I'll show a drone shot right now. There is no space in this yard for anywhere else to put us. So we have to do it. And the sail drive's sitting on the table behind me. This one's not even out yet. And we've got a high-field dinghy that's getting sent at the end of the month that we're going to put all of our parts for the Pacific crossing in. Life raft, medical kits, all of the stuff that is essential for us to cross the Pacific is making its way to Texas and ship it down to here. That's a long process and a very expensive process. Everything that's in that dinghy I have to order right now, otherwise it won't make it to Dave's place in time and it won't make it to
here in time, which means we could miss a weather window crossing the Pacific with Dallas and everyone. So I woke up at 4:30 this morning and the brain just starts churning, and we're just under so much pressure right now. I think this is the most pressure I've felt ever on a boat. And as you know, we've had some pretty major things happen to us on this boat, and this is taking years of my life.
So the point of that talk wasn't to complain. I wouldn't trade my life for anyone's. It was more to highlight just how much prep is actually involved in crossing the Pacific Ocean, and how hard it can be to get parts and spares when sailing to some of the most remote places in the world.
Because once we leave the coast of Mexico, we're going to be so remote until we get to New Zealand, and even in New Zealand getting anything shipped there is a nightmare. So I'm having to think just every little thing that we might need in the next 6 to 12 months I've got to order this week, while trying to get this boat back in the water. Can you tell I'm a little bit stressed?
So we kept soldiering on, pulling out the starboard sail drive, which went a lot more smoothly after having done it already on the port side. Yeah, a little bit. Come down slowly, very slowly. Things were going incredibly well, and it was looking like for sure we would be back in the water within a week, until we made another shocking discovery. Just found a crack in the main housing for the sail drive. The crack was right where the seal that stops the ocean from getting in sits. There was absolutely no way that it could go back in like that. This kind of stuff takes weeks to order normally, because no one needs a spare of this. It's a showstopper right there. Sorry. We're not going in the water in a week.